We set intentions for openness, depth, great tenderness, and compassion with yourselves and those who we are sharing this space with.
Who's excited to be here? Who's nervous to be here? Sure why you're here? No clue why you're here? Here because someone else invited you to be here.
Do what your spirit wants to do. That is really what you do when you show up in this space.
What do you want? What do you want? How do you feel? Who's Naya? Who is Naya out of all of this, right?
Hello, everybody. So thanks for the invite again, Steph.
Thank you for letting me share. This has been, an eye opener, and I praise my daughter for inviting me. I really do. To get out of my shell. This, you know what I'm saying? And this is a way of doing it in hopes of being more able to share. So thank you, Michelle, for this experience. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, my daughter. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm just so grateful to have spaces open like this to be able to publicly and also privately answer those questions for myself. Tonight we welcome you to our Throat Chakra Open Mic Night, a space where folks get to see themselves, hear themselves, utter life into themselves, speak life through and from their throat chakra. And
first up, we have Miss Michelle Lyles.
It's called Regrown Regardless, and I'm just gonna get right into it. Do 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 regrown regardless in any situation. Regrown regardless in any situation. I keep making the same mistakes. Feels like I can't get out my way. People altering my lane. Day after day, more and more pain. I've been in a rut. I keep beating myself up, repeating dark scenes. Oh, what they did to me. Now why then I choose to believe that what they were saying was who I'm supposed to be. Their lies blinded me. Decided that that's not me. Yeah, I know lies like you're not brave, you're not special, so I block them out. You won't tell me who I am, and I'm regrown regardless in any situation. Ooh, I'm regrown regardless in any situation. Ooh. Guess it's dumb to keep making the same mistakes, but I swear I learned something new every day. You ask me what gives me hope. I swear that it's all that I've known. And the fact that I'm still here, my purpose made clear. And I'm regrown regardless. In any situation, in all the situations, in any and all the situations. Thank you.
You go, girl.
Thank you, mommy. And I'm going to pass it to Naya.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for that beautiful, beautiful song. You lifted my heart, and I'm going to take that energy into my poem. My poem is called Life After Death. Life after death. This is a question that you will find always asking oneself. Do you think we could do you think we would question it if it didn't exist? If we didn't already know and see beyond the veil of life here in front of us? The vibrations in the air surrounding us rings true with the realization of death. The streets colored with the red running blood of my young brethren. Seeds growth stunted, never to fully grow. Hearts frozen in time, stuck with the grief of knowing what could have been. Unexplainable tragedies color the hearts of a people. These people look like they could be my mom, grandmother, aunt, cousin, father, grandfather, or uncle. The constant fear of what the world will do to swallow your children whole, wondering if they will make it home. Blinded from humanity because of the world's view of their outer selves. There is an undeniable strength in the deaths with no names. How do you move through the hurt unapologetically or without shame when you've been hurt to the core of your being? You mend, you repair, you replenish, you understand that you are as strong as the many gods and goddesses that have walked your lineage before you. Remember, you are the truth. Shook at the beauty of loving my life, I would never take breathing for granted again, only to love you forever and find ways to be complete within, whole all the way through. We live on to tell the story, your story, and live to be what you could have been. Thank you. And I would like to invite Mr. David Ward to come to the stage and share with us.
Thank you, Naya. This is an exciting evening to share with everyone. And I have to admit, this morning, Stephanie asked me a question that really took me back. She goes, "So how long have you been writing poetry?" And I literally had to go back and think about it. And we came up with 52 years. And I had selected a few of my more recent poems that I wanted to share. And then I went back and I told Steph, I said, "Steph, is it okay if I go back and show the progression and read some of my early poems and then finish it off with a recent poem?" And so she gave me permission to do that. So if you will indulge me for just a little bit, I'm gonna take you on a journey, the journey that I have taken in writing poetry. So I am a child of the 60s and a child of the civil rights era. And so the first couple of poems I want to share with you have to do with some of my reactions to that. The first one is called Mississippi Summer. Summer in Mississippi is long, hot, lazy, a time of stillness, a time to hear. Listen, the ground speaks of footsteps to freedom running north. Listen, trees with hearts bowed low weep shamefully for human fruit once born. The river laments for its red flow, black blood staining muddy shores. Summer in Mississippi is long, hot, lazy, a time of stillness, a time to hear, for the sounds of death ride on the wind. I went to a predominantly white institution for college, and one of the things that I came away with was a feeling of frustration. I'm living in a state of paranoia, and like a flea in milk, feel the never-ending wave of this white world threatening to drown me, and often I wish I was riding a big black dog. So I was a romantic when I graduated, and I was never one that was really able to rap to the girls. So I was standing on a subway platform one day, and I was watching this young man, and this were first impressions. Waiting for the A train, he approached her. My resume indicates that I am well educated. My perfume demonstrates that my style is strictly chic. The labels in my wardrobe answer any questions concerning my financial requirements. And this half-used roll of certs tells you my conversation is always sweet. Page 2 says I like my love long, hard, and often. If you fit the description on page 3, please feel free to apply. We have openings for a Thursday, Friday man. References are requested. My number's on the card. Call me sometimes. Do you have the time? He said. And then the last piece I want to share with you is more recent. Where we once lived. We journeyed north and west from the dusty road, from the dusty lands south of the Mason-Dixon line, crossed over into the oasis of manicured lawns with flower gardens in the front, small plots of vegetables in the rear, beside the 2-car garage. Having passed the civil service exam that granted us access to federal, state, and municipal jobs, we no longer had to hold rent parties or live in boarding houses. We purchased a 1/4 acre of the 40 we were promised at emancipation and called it ours. Over time, city services became scarce. The green grass turned brown, then only the patches of dry dirt remained. As our unemployment rose, we drowned our sorrows in brown liquor hidden in paper bags, flew above the despair on rock cocaine, and hurtled earthbound with needles in our arms and horses on our backs. Our properties became distressed. Some were abandoned, boarded up, gutted for electric wires and copper pipes. We were forced to leave destitute, broken, and defeated. Young white couples bought our homes for pennies on the dollar after securing loans from the same neighborhood banks that refused to open checking or savings accounts for us, refused to give us mortgages, forced us to use check cashing services that charged us usury more than the local loan sharks or bookies. Chad and Karen replaced the roof, painted the shutters, sodded the front and backyards, and invited their friends to join them for cocktails and steaks as they reclaimed the land. in less than a half a century. They fled the cities, ran to the suburbs, orchestrated our economic collapse, and prepared to return to the spaces of stolen legacy. One Saturday, I drove my children through the new and improved neighborhood of manicured lawns with green gardens and small plots of vegetables in the rear next to the two-car garage where we once lived. We're gonna take a few moments and we're gonna take a slight break, and then the next wonderful sound we will hear will be from Veronica Fernandez. All right.
Is scared to lose you. You taught me to never back down from a challenge. You taught me to never allow someone to disrespect me. It took a long time for your lessons to sink in. It took a long time for your words to register with my soul and shake me at my core, but it happened. You taught me that being a Fernandez is more than just being your daughter. It's being a part of a dysfunctional family, yes, a family that has more issues than there are Disney movies. Out of 4 kids, I'm the closest one to you. We watch movies like Untouchables and Young Guns. We used to stay up until 3 a.m. playing video games. We kept playing throughout the years. That is, until your eyes wouldn't let you see the buttons on the controller anymore. Your diabetes took years off of your life the way a succubus drains the energy out of a man. I went on walks with you, and you showed me the true history of our neighborhood, El Barrio. For as long as I can remember, you dropped jewels on me. You paved the way for me to become the best version of myself. You understood that sometimes it meant me leaving home and venturing on my own. But those jewels you dropped were like the breadcrumbs in Hansel and Gretel. Somehow those jewels always led me back home, back to you. You told me that no matter what, you will always love me, even through the memories and moments when I broke your heart and let you down. You were the first man who showed me what a man was supposed to be, what a man does for their family. You were the person who taught me what it meant to be equal in a household. You instilled values in me that I will instill in my children and they will instill in theirs. No matter how many times you tried to lead me down certain career paths, you still let me explore other options. Even when those options blew up in my face, you were always there to say, you see, I told you so. All the while picking me up and pushing me along to become a better version of myself. I betrayed you in many ways, and it tears me up inside every time I think about it. But now that you're heading towards your last days, I sit back and I think of how many ways I let you down. And I sit back and I wish I could just get a little bit more time to make you proud. I'm only 3 hours and 47 minutes away from home, but every time I speak to you on the phone, it feels so much farther than that. I hear the crack in your voice every time you tell me to come back. It melts together with the crack in mine every time I tell you I can't. I'm scared of the day your memory finally betrays you and you forget. The day that you wake up and don't remember all the fun times we had. I'm scared of losing time. I'm scared of losing the memories. I'm scared of losing you. I'm scared. Thank you, everybody. And I would like to pass it off to the amazing and unique Stephanie.
Oh, baby girl, got me over here in my feelings. Thank you for that. Okay. So most of these are untitled. I'll just take a small pause between them and then keep rolling. Here we go. I can't get my computer right. There we go. All right, resurrection. In this house, pride and shame be sisters. They make quilts thick to cover. How I allow neglect last in love, belittling against my turned cheek, conflict avoided. Truth brings fire sometimes, and in this too, rebirth. No birth comes without trauma, emotional upheaval. I imagine this birth, no exception. You absorb. They don't even know, child. They don't even know how you, deep mourning meets fear on the brink of collective paralysis. So you, you absorb this too. The sexiness of the matriarch fades beneath the weight of the job. And this is the job. Nothing wrong with you. Change phobic. I felt allergic to it, frankly. As my world came tumbling down, of course, I clung to its ruined bits. It was what of yesterday I could salvage when the thought of what's next gutted me. I whispered, save me. Spirit gave me a mirror. To endure the things people say about you. I had to be reminded, you ain't my business, but a lesson to learn, a silence to break, one soul to wake. Delete, 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 delete. Free. My female body of spirit and politic, my bloody speech speak we into existence. Our silent, silenced bro erases me. Would you let they erase me? I am experience, that which cannot be recreated, reconfigured, disfigured, managed. Sit intolerable, sit free. Idle, respect our feelings, fashion the words to speak the truth. The fascia, it holds us. I twerk to resist. Scott. Wholeness. I am all the parts. The darkness from which the light springs, the waters brutal, torrential, engulfing. I suffocate the past as it is done. Rise, sweet water stream, future as it is already. Sit still, calm, peacefully collect round my feet. Presence of the present. The collision of these rests in this moment, observably silent is the now. I manifest alignment of thought, word, deed, serve my highest vibration, soul, purpose. I am ablaze. I am grateful. I am grounded in earth, eyes covered. I see all from the inside. Stretch now, the ethos catches your breath, spread wide, hips, a portal, holder, open divine. Intention carries the wind back to me. Tiptoe through the minefields of your past to find the missing pieces of you. Soothe the ruined bits, salvage the sweet scented. Yes, to every utterance that is you, wise, non-resistance. I have tasted the nectar of my own endorsement. Finally. Thanks, y'all. And up next, my sister goddess, Tam Plotnick. Come through.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you. What an honor. Thank you. I have 3 poems here. First one, in case you don't know, Bubby is like grandma in Yiddish. For us, it was always our great grandmother, but then this is my grandmother, but she became Bubby when she got great grandkids. It's called Ceremony for Bubby. Because she mopped the kitchen floor 3 times a day, because she used her oven as a pantry, because she insisted her toaster only worked on light, because she praised the opening of new malls, because she gave me manicures at age 5, because she bought me the tiny gold Star of David stud I still wear in the 3rd hole of my left ear, because that photo of her, circa 1940, looks like a beret and lipstick star of black and white film, because her figure rivaled the goddess of Willendorf, because I never saw her eat sitting down, because she gave my mom perms since elementary school, because she hit her eldest girl with a brush now and again, because she apologized years later, because she and her sisters yelled over each other at shivas, weddings, and bar mitzvahs, because they spoke Yiddish among friends but didn't teach it to their kids, because their mother immigrated from Russia in 1912, because her husband took constitutionals most nights, because she gave him allowance and laid out his clothes every single day, because she told me sex was never her thing, because a frog jumped out of her Florida room and startled her, because she fell and injured herself and then the rehab facility neglected her, because my aunt sued for wrongful death and forbade my mother to sit Shiva up north, because my mother held an evening Shiva anyway, but I wasn't there because my kids would have been too rambunctious for her 55 plus condo, because there was no funeral for Bobby. This one is for Suzanne, who's here, my dearest friend since age 11. Steph knows her. Okay. The photo I stole back from my daughter's wall. I remember writing our treatise over rolls of industrial toilet paper on the beach at night, the empty wine bottles waved in the photo. Our outfits curated down to straw hats, tipped in the pic, rainbow belted jeans that showed just the right swerve of boyish hips. In daylight, we'd rent the tandem bike, posing for another iconic shot in the parking lot summers apart. I remember our swelling anticipation of mystery rolling straight for us, sure as tide would come high, we witless of what, when, or how. No nod nor wave to our own hand in the destiny to be written on the blank page of summer. How you ended the night, invited on some grown man's yacht, while I slunk back from the bar in the dark, alone at 15 and 4 in the morning, my swinging feet hung over the trundle bed, your parents' eyes drilling into my tail. All right, one more. And it's interesting that we did all this breath and then we were in summer, although it was Mississippi, because for some reason I wasn't going to read this poem, and before all of that it came to me, and this was definitely a COVID poem, and I was having trouble breathing, going back to 2020. It's called Plead for Breath. Plead for breath. Holy inhalation, Jinx holistic deprivation, mend holes in the pockets of lungs. Pant, gulp, wheeze, bounce the diaphragm like a sacred trampoline, drink from the cup of chi. 98 degrees of detrimental weather, the humidity of a hound's tongue, perspiring, underarm uncertainty, well, wear it wet with clashing colors, sternum tilted up. Just breathe, and at the bottom of the breath, pray for light. Inundation beyond sensation. Open alveoli, open sesame, break ramparts for the divine ox cart trundling through inner currents, showering bounties of crimson blossom to the bloodstream. Streaming light. Fighting flight, flying bright. You heard right, whispered the predicament of gasp, tapping out of the wistful tussle to the exhale, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 6, 8, inhale, pass curl, double long vacuum suck up to wave and swirl, exhale, foam, inhale, wholesale seashore, exhale, tide of plight, inhale, vast pride, exhale, humble doubt.
You see
Now,
what?
that's right. I have to now hand this back to the girls for the strand. Whoop.
We see a hand over there, I think. Is that a hand on purpose? No. Okay, just joking. I love y'all so much.
Talk to me.
So, how are you talking to yourself these days?
I deserve to be loved, especially by myself.
Love is not something I need to earn. It is a right.
No time for rest, says who?
Because who's talking to me?
Still bullying? Push it. Critiquing?
Sensitivity is not a bad thing. More like a glad thing that my ancestors chose me to be able to see.
A right that I drop constantly.
I decide when I rest and how I pace.
I need to hear you.
That emotional weight falling off.
I'm falling deeper in love with who I truly am, learning more about who I was before the world's programming got to me.
Drop behind me.
See, my spiritual and physical balance is important in order to feel good and operate in happiness.
Notice you first.
Have you said good job yet?
I'm unclogging the energy, the angel's energies within me. The idea of sensitivity being a bad thing shifted to the core of who I used to be.
Drop on the ground and drag while I'll try to love everyone but myself.
Who I am today is who I am.
Back to me.
Slow down.
Now I am free to talk to myself nicely about all the experiences that made me me.
Let's work. Let's go. Let's eat. Let's try. Let's cry.
Now I bask in the beauty and joy of truly knowing myself.
And sleep peacefully.
And train myself. Detoxify.
Flying, soaring so freely above the judgment of feeling.
But when is right to say, let's be?
Understanding and accepting without judgment, I am still a work in progress.
Talk to me now. Understand all that I was and be.
Lean into peace. We do peace these days, you see.
So now I can see how to talk to myself freely through me.
That's it.
Divinely guided on my path of operating as my higher self.
Because who's talking to me if it ain't you?
Hard me has an invitation to sleep sweetly.
I am chasing after me.
It's never been an easy time. But when did I lose the love in my actions?
I am today who I truly am.
Because who's talking to me if it ain't you?
Accept, surrender, trust.
I am falling deeper in love with who I am.
When did I lose my ability to let my guard down and cry?
Talk to me.
Trust, shadow me, highest me, consistently alive.
I am now free to talk to myself nicely of the experience of me.
When did I lose my ability to let my guard down and cry?
Now I bask in the beauty and glory of knowing who I am.
Talk to me, sweet.
Deliciously alive.
Talk to me freely.
Let's take the soul to the laundromat and have that extra rinse cycle.
Talk to me first.
I am
Able to see all that makes me me.
Because the emotions are dirty and the love is too soiled to be enjoyed.
If it ain't you.
am
I am strong. I am smart. I am sensible. I am resourceful. And I have gotten this far by using all that I can offer. My journey is not yet over, but I am not Odysseus. I am the favorable wind in that bag that is given to him. I am the thing that gets not just people, but my people and myself to where I need to be.
I am.
am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
What we're about to move into is something we call a 5-minute prompt. Now, I think the first time that we really started doing the 5-minute prompts outside of this space was back in my crew at JBS. So I think it's just very cool that the entire lineup are from the James Baldwin School. We have alum and we have educators. And I think that's so dope. And it really, I'm humbled that I get to be with y'all. And for the alum, I just, the fact that you let us still be in your lives and you're in your late 20s is just dope. So thank you. The place that I got to use the 5-minute prompt like all the time though is the Black Girl Collective. And there are some BGC girls in here. Yeah, full circle, Naya. I think I see Lynn, Marizdi, Marisol, Naya's in the Black Girl Collective. So we do the 5-minute prompt every single time we have an event. And what it is that it is literally 5 minutes to write. And the whole purpose is that it's a prompting tool that we use to go deeper in the conversation and exploration of whatever it is that we are looking at the session, verbally and in writing, right? So the invitation for the 5-minute prompt is to tap into whatever has already come up tonight for you, lean a little bit further into it, then just let it flow. No editing, no thinking, no judging. Just feel your way through it and release. That is it. That is all. Since this is the Throat Chakra Open mic, we decided that we'd leave it very open and just invite you to speak life into yourself.
Okay, so this is my mom, my lovely, beautiful mom who made me the person that I am today, this open being who knows the value of truth. My mother, Lacey Hill.
Thank you. And I just wrote this because you're very, very inspiring to me. So this is what I had to say. Feeling now afraid to die, but that is what life is about. You're here today, but going tomorrow. And that's what death is to me. Yes, that same old cliche. No, no, then no need to ponder. It happens every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for letting me share. Has been, uh, an eye opener, and I praise my daughter for inviting me. I really do. To get out of my shell. This, you know what I'm saying? And this is a way of doing it in hopes of being more able to share. So thank you, Michelle, for this experience. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, my daughter. I love you.
I love you too.
It's called 12 Steps to the Crystal Clear Stairs. One, I was alone, then sought two. In love, they became three. At odds, four, felt alive at five. Suicidal at six, in heaven met seven. Left the gates at 8, morning sun at 9. Seeking friends made 10. In their prime at 11, composite at 12. Being smart don't make you special. Being special don't make you rare. Being rare don't make you immortal. Being immortal don't make you alive. Thank you.
I'm fully alive. Each breath leads gratefully into the next. I'm homecoming out of the shame, pain, guilt, self-hate, into freedom, finding ways to take you with me. I spread my wings slowly and cautiously. God, forgive me. Help me forgive myself. Help me forgive all others who caused harm. Moving forward with the habits that align to my growth, evolvement, prosperity, connecting with Mother Goddess, listening to her wisdom. It's a new day, the right day to shine. I love seeing my sisters and brothers shining around me through smiles, laughter, wisdom, art, success, and legacy. Keep going, don't stop. I'll catch up, going at my own pace. God knows I'm slow as fuck, but maybe it's just divine timing.
Y'all show up. Thank you.
Start the day, groggy, gray. How can I? I muster strength to go. Go support, that's my job. Up first, college girl. Broke up last night. Now too scared to return. Who will she be with in pandemic times? Making friends already such a challenge. She used him as a crutch. Say something to foster belief in self. Even in fear, can we have faith? Next is a man who had his second stroke. Who will he be now? Brain damaged just enough, not enough to hide it. Hand unable to move. Witness and be real. Feel the despair, but don't take it on. What about my own despair? Beautiful pet now facing her own mortality. Be real. Feel all the feels. Start the day. Thank you.
See, Goddess, you're doing it. Without judgment, expectations, you release. Within the space of an hour, travel through so many different towers with different textures unforgotten. I invite you to lean into these online spaces, giving yourself the grace of a queen, empress, sitting high amongst your friends. Lean into what you may not even know about yourself yet. Your voice isn't just loud because that was that. Your voice is meant to be shared, even through all the fear. Be authentically you. No one is asking you to do more than you can do. Release all that is pent up, release all that pent up aggression, all coming out to be lessons through so many different forms of being. You are completely right who you are here in the now.